We modify the property called wire color and assign the preset value to a property called name. Properties that are not listed when we check the property lists of the given objects. Let's check the cone object. In the MaxScript definition for it, you won't find a wire color or a name property. Nothing like that. So how come 3ds Max didn't throw an error message? This could be a bit confusing, but there is an explanation, and it lies in class definitions and property inheritance. Well, MaxScript is partially an object-oriented programming language. This sounds extremely nice, but what the heck does that mean? Well, basically, there are certain object types, classes, defined with attribute sets. Each of these objects can be further specialized by giving extra attributes to them. This is like saying we have a class called vehicle. This is a broad idea covering a lot of objects without being specific. A piece of wooden panel could be a vehicle if used as a snowboard, or a big pile of metal could be a vehicle if used as a spaceship. Vehicles is a general term. It could already have certain properties like a maximum speed, color, or maximum number of passengers. Those are properties that any kind of vehicle could have. If I created a new class derived from vehicle, called car, that would create a subset with certain properties that are unique to this subset of vehicles, like horsepower, tire diameter, or whether it's a sports or a family car. Even though the car class only has these new properties listed as its own ones, it also inherited the ones its superclass had: speed, color, or maximum number of passengers. Say we have a geometry class object in 3ds Max. By only saying this much, this object could be anything. We only know it's an object that has geometry. We want to further specialize its definition by saying it is a box, adding attributes to it like height, width, or length. We could also specialize the geometry class as a cylinder or cone, and so on. Basically, we take the already defined class that has some basic properties and create a new subclass from it. The new class, like cylinder, cone, or box, would inherit all the properties of the class it was derived from, and it would add more properties to it to further specialize its behavior. Just in case it's still a bit confusing, here's another real-world, non-programming example. Let's define a class called book. The book class could have the following properties: a title and writer with a type of string, and page count with an integer type. Then we could derive two new classes from it, the comic book type and the novel. So, while comic book and novel doesn't list the title, writer, and page count properties, they still have them, since they were derived from the book class. They add their own properties, like novel having a style, like sci-fi or thriller, or comic book having a main artist, or the painter's names who helped him. If we create a novel object, it could look something like this. My novel equals novel with the title Net Force, the writer is Tom Clancy, the page count is 469, and the style is thriller. If we used show properties on this theoretical my novel, it would only list style as a property, as the only property defined by the novel class. To be able to tell what the other inherited properties of the novel class might be, we have to determine what its parent class or superclass by MaxScript terms is. The MaxScript function for that is superclass of, and in this case it would return book. We will quickly try this with a 3ds Max example. I'll just save the script that we already had and close it and reset the scene so we have a clean scene to work with. I'll also clean the MaxScript listener window. There you go. Now let's create a cylinder object to test this class of function on something. Class of is supposed to return the class, the current class of the object that is fed to it, or it could be any type of value. Let's feed the $sign value to it.